This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 757. Thanks for listening. Make sure that you are checking out, subscribed, and downloading all of our podcasts on all of the platforms that you are listening to podcasts, such as Spotify. Make sure you buy a t-shirt over at prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. Give us a like over on Facebook. Give us a follow on TikTok, aka X at Markin Out. Over on TikTok
Twitter.
At Markin Out. Twitter at Markin Out, and Instagram at Markin Out 11. Follow me, myself, and I, Dave the Rave, on all social media platforms at David PT DPT. You can follow Chris at CMSweeney85 on Twitter, and Chris Sweendog on Twitter. The other one's on Instagram. And follow Brandon at BTTG161 on all social media platforms. That's all right. If they follow him on one place, they're following him on the other place. You know? It's CMSweeney85 on Instagram. Chris Sweendog on Twitter. There you go. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing awesome as always. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Tell me all about your week, please.
Just a lot of wrestling. I burnt my finger today, though. I will say that.
Ooh, juicy. What did you do?
I was making like a pasta bake with barbecue sauce that turned out to be disgusting. I don't
Not
like
the
chicken
pasta
I put
bake.
in it. Yeah, it was gross. And I went to put it in the oven, and my finger touched the shelf because I hate my oven. The oven sucks. It's awful.
Oh, jeez.
And it was unfortunate because I would have been perfectly fine had the dish been good, but no, it sucked.
What were you trying to cook?
Just some sort of like pasta bake with barbecue sauce, chicken, cheese, some corn.
Corn?
Didn't turn out. The corn was the best part, ironically.
Aye. That sucks. Well, I'm sorry that you burnt yourself.
So then I just ate toast, and that was it.
Not bad. You know,
It's bad.
it could be worse.
It could be.
Could be worse.
But how about yourself?
But yeah, my week has been fantastic. It's been a great week because it was jam-packed with nonstop wrestling. Also, last week got to go to a wedding in upstate. I keep on saying upstate. It's upstate from us. It was in New Jersey. It was in New Jersey.
What do you mean? It's like a straight line.
No. It was a straight line, but then north.
That's
Putting it
not-
into upstate.
I'm not.
It was
saying
over
that's
and
upstate.
up.
But that's
You had
not
to-
upstate.
It was north of Harlem, north of you had to do the Throgs Neck. It was north of JFK Bridge. It's upstate. It's north. It was the northern region. It was in Sparta, New Jersey. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. My friends had a wedding right on the water, and it was really a beautiful affair, very special. And yeah, I got to meet up with a lot of my friends from Final Frontier.
On Lake Mohawk?
I'm not too sure.
I mean, it has to be. It was a lake, correct?
It was a lake. It was a lake.
This is not north. What did you say? Upstate.
It was north of here.
I just put in... No, it's like... It's north, but it's not north enough for me to say it's upstate. It doesn't even pass Yonkers. Well, actually, yeah, it does pass Yonkers. But it
had to
doesn't
go
pass
north.
White Plains. It doesn't pass that White Plains line.
No?
No.
Go figure.
It doesn't pass Tarrytown. Tarrytown's right there. Tarrytown's above
Wow.
that still. Armonk
I
is
thought
still
it
above
did.
that. Nope.
All right,
But,
I stand corrected.
How was the food?
But-
Did you get there?
It was great. What did I get? I ate a little bit of everything. My dinner was the shrimp.
Shrimp.
Oh, what is it called?
Shrimp
With
scampi?
an R. No, not shrimp scampi. It was like not rice. I forgot what it was.
Ratatouille.
I forgot. It was delicious though. It was
shrimp,
delicious.
though?
Yeah.
Why not? Why did you not get beef? Who gets shrimp?
Because I had beef already at the cocktail hour.
That's
They had
when
a
you
bunch of
typically
different-
have the shrimp.
I don't even know if I think I didn't see shrimp during that time too. But
What was the?
it was
cake?
delicious. Huh?
What was the cake?
I don't know. Strawberry maybe?
You don't know.
I didn't try it
That
because of
makes
the
no
nut
sense.
allergy.
Oh, did they tell you there was nuts, or they said just don't eat it?
I wasn't even gonna bother.
Oh my god.
I wasn't even gonna bother. You know, they're celebrating. I'm not gonna go up to them or the
What do you
staff.
mean? You don't go up
I'm not
to
gonna go
the-
up to the staff.
No,
and,
when you get the wait staff, you're literally supposed to tell the wait staff that you have an allergy.
well, I told them about that for the dinner. I didn't need
So
to.
then they should have been on top of it and been like, "Sir, you could have the cake. You're a-okay."
They didn't give me the okay on that one.
That's on them. They should have.
Thank you. That's on them. We'll put it on them.
My friends went to a wedding this past weekend, and did they give anything on the way out? By the way,
Yeah, they gave breakfast. They gave like breakfast sandwiches.
breakfast sandwiches. Wow. They
Yeah,
got,
they gave
the
like
pork
sausage,
roll
egg, and
over there?
cheese. I think. Huh?
Is it a pork roll in Jersey?
I don't know.
Or they
No,
it's
it was
called-
like your sausage, egg, and cheese.
They gave out bagels and cream cheese and stuff at the wedding my friends went to. The cream cheese was apparently moldy.
Oh no!
I would have 100% told the person whose wedding I went
Yeah.
to.
Oh,
But they didn't
jeez.
realize it was moldy until later, so. But I would have 100%, I would have taken a picture and shown them. I would have never let them live that down. It would have been so embarrassing for them.
moldy cream cheese.
You know how old cream cheese has to be to get moldy?
Yeah, it takes a long time. Nothing for nothing.
Unless it was just
It takes
like
a
sitting
long-
out or something, I don't know, but
No. We can't condone
But
that.
yeah, unfortunately, we did not go to WWE SummerSlam live from MetLife Stadium. We didn't go to the American Dream Mall. We didn't do any of that. I wish we did. I wish we were able to. But it kicked off night one. Brayland performed "God Bless America." I was not familiar with them.
Yeah, I didn't know them.
It's like Tiger Lily Gold did the night two America the Beautiful. Didn't know them either. Both of them country artists.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the America the Beautiful, you had Cardi B come out, open the show to lip sync to a song, and then scream about Logan Paul and Randy Orton. and then she appeared later on in the crowd, and that was literally all she did. I would not consider that hosting. I would say that was probably one of the worst hosting hosts they've ever had.
I do have to say that I did like the backstage gimmick of her and Triple H. Like her thanking Triple H and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was
there was
cool.
also another video where Randy Orton and Logan Paul were backstage, and she was like worried, like, why or should you two not be together, sort of thing. About
Mark.
trying to keep kayfabe alive, whatever. I don't know, who knows.
Yeah.
First match,
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
of
yeah.
SummerSlam Night 1 kicks off. The Bloodline picked up the victory over Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. We both thought this was going to main event Night 1. And then they announced that this was opening the show. I think all four of them looked collectively like they were in a stable together. So I wish that wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this started pretty chaotic. The referee was just left there not doing anything. And then Jey Uso ran his theme back in the middle of the match.
That was weird.
And the referee just didn't, like, the referee stopped counting. It was like one of those too cool moments where it literally just stopped to run back the theme. There was no counting or anything. I don't know. Outside of that, I thought the match was good.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. I thought that it had a lot of nice spots, but something that I don't know, I wasn't a fan of was that the Bloodline picked up the victory. I think that I would rather Breaker and Breed picked up the victory.
Yeah, and they did a good job at holding the ring against the faces, but it just... I didn't need them to win. I think that hot tag spot where it looked like Jay was actually going to get in, Bronson Reed ripped Roman Reigns off the apron. I thought that was a top-notch spot, but I don't think they needed to get that victory. I like the Steiner Bulldog that they did to Jey Uso.
Yeah, that was a cool spot.
I liked the Bloodline using the 1D. But Roman Reigns saved Jey Uso from a spear from Braun Breaker. And you get some sort of storyline development there where Roman is going out of his way to actually save Jey Uso. And Jey was able to get the victory off of that. But there's no way I would ever have said the Bloodline should go over.
No. It didn't make sense to me.
Well, we'll have to see what happens next, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But next up, you had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair pick up the victory over the Judgment Day to become the new tag team champions. This was a huge win considering that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were very unlikely to have chemistry together. And look at what they did.
It was a pretty even match. I liked Roxanne Perez broke the figure 4 with that springboard moonsault. And then she saved Raquel from Alexa hitting the forearm, and she clocked Charlotte instead. I thought that was interesting because not right after that like the end spot, man. Raquel ends up hitting that Tejana bomb. Roxanne hits Pop Rocks, and that looked like that was about to be it. Alexa Bliss makes a save off of that. She ends up hitting Sister Abigail DDT on Roxanne Perez. Before she did that, man, my heart was like, because I wanted to see Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair win this match. It looked like Flair was about to, at first I thought she was like, oh, she's setting up, she's about to take out Raquel. And then Raquel wasn't there, and like there was, I don't know what the actual seconds were in between, but in my head, it was like all slow motion where it's like, oh, wait, Raquel's not coming in right now. She's about to kick Alexa Bliss in the face. And then it like unpauses and Raquel Rodriguez gets knocked in the face with that big boot. Sister Abigail DDT 1, 2, 3. Good ending.
Yeah, it was a very good ending for that matchup.
After that, you saw Sami Zayn pick up the victory over Karrion Kross. Are you kidding me? You saw Scarlett get involved here, and she slipped Karrion Kross the pipe at first, and then Sami Zayn hits the Blue Thunder Bomb. Sami kind of starts to lose it, and Scarlett offers him the pipe instead. And he picked up the pipe, teased using it, ends up obviously not using it, and I thought that was a good spot that we're seeing a glimpse into Sami like fighting himself, I guess, in that moment. Sami eventually hits that haluva kick and picks up the victory. So much for my thought with the Righteous.
Yeah.
On Monday
definitely
Night
surprised
Raw,
with that.
on
Unfortunately.
Monday Night Raw, I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised by that, but you had Sami Zayn interviewed on Monday Night Raw, and he spoke about the pipe, and he said that he wants to be World Heavyweight Champion the right way. This is, we'll see a very similar storyline with Cody Rhodes before. So,
yeah,
maybe we will eventually see Sami Zayn not do it the right way. But because of that victory, Karrion Kross was supposed to admit that he was wrong about Sami Zayn. I don't know what's happening with that. It came out that Scarlett's his contracts were up, coming up, I think, this weekend.
Yeah.
They weren't at Monday Night Raw. They did promote his book at SummerSlam. They did promote his book at NXT. And now there's rumors that they did get contract offers, so we don't know what's going on with that at all. But
that's what I saw. I saw earlier today that they actually were offered contracts.
Not to jump ahead to the main event of night 2 or anything, but there was a moment on the post show where fans were chanting "We want Cross," and when I was watching it, I didn't hear they were chanting. I didn't hear them chant "We want Cross" because in my head it was "We want Brock" as well, and that's what Triple H was like. Well, you got him.
Wait, so you heard "We want Brock" as well?
I thought they were chanting "We want Brock," and I was like, "That's interesting."
That's interesting.
But
because
when I listen to the clip back, it's clear as day "We want Cross," and I'm like, how did I hear what I heard?
Yeah,
I thought that was very weird, but hopefully that does mean something, and hopefully we do see Karrion Kross. The IWC has completely turned on Kross. Completely. They go to cage match, they tank all his matches. It's completely turned on him.
Yeah, it's what I don't get is how some people will be saying that Karrion Kross is over and this, and everybody's supportive of him. We want Kross. But then, apparently, IWC doesn't want him?
He can't wrestle. He doesn't take bumps. It's ridiculous.
It makes no sense to me.
After that, we saw Tiffany Stratton pick up the victory over Jade Cargill to retain the championship. Jade Cargill should have been announced as the Queen of the Ring. They've done nothing with that. This was the reason why this match took place. They did nothing with that. They did nothing with Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping for Tiffany Stratton to win this match. So I was very happy with the outcome here. And a lot of people complained about this match too, but I thought this was a very well done match. I liked when Jade caught Tiffany Stratton on the handspring elbow, and she did a backbreaker off of that. They did the spot where Jade hit Jaded, and Tiffany's foot ends up on the rope. And that part had me worried because I didn't know. I thought for a moment we were going to see Jade Cargill actually win the match. But she went on to hit, or try to hit Jaded again. Tiffany Stratton reversed it. And then Jade ends up chokeslamming Tiffany Stratton, goes for a Jaded from the middle rope. Tiffany Stratton rolled through. I thought
that was a nice roll through.
I thought so too. Apparently the IWC didn't think so. And then she hit the PME and won the match. Of
course, because why would they actually like something like that?
It was literally IWC complain. This next match they complained about. I thought Jelly Roll did fantastic.
I have to agree with you. I have no complaints about this one.
Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul picked up the victory over RK Roll. Logan Paul started the match off with a cheap shot even before the bell rang. And Jelly Roll tagged himself in. And I would say Jelly Roll, although he's doing the basic moves and everything, people were loving it. And he spent a majority of the time in the ring.
There were some things that I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I have to really detach myself, like where he's doing the stare down with Logan Paul and the choke slam spot. I kind of have to let go a little bit.
The choke slam spot?
I don't know. I have to let go of it.
The choke slam that he hit last year at SummerSlam was like top notch to the point I thought he was going to be in 2K25. Mm-hmm. Now I would find it very difficult to believe him not being in 2K26. I would hope that we get a new shake, rattle, and roll from him, which Drew McIntyre ended up blocking at one point. And then, that choke slam I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
The black roll slam I think is great.
Yeah.
And that all came after, I think, one of the biggest spots of WrestleMania where Logan Paul jumps off the ring post, cheers himself or whatever, and hits a frog splash to put Jelly Roll through the commentary table. Jelly Roll gets walked off to the point where it's like, well, he's out of the match, but I didn't think he was actually out of the match. And then he ends up doing that, like, that big baby face turnaround, like, nah, hell no, and goes to get back in the ring.
And the crowd went crazy for it.
Yeah, and then Drew McIntyre eventually comes back. He hits that Claymore. Randy Orton RKO'd him, but Logan Paul, he ends up sending Randy Orton out of the ring, hits Jelly Roll with another frog splash, and gets the victory. And as far as celebrities go, this was not a bad match. As far as this is his very first match in WWE, did it live up to what Bad Bunny did? Absolutely not. But this was completely... It's miles above what other people do.
To me, it was good. Like, it was entertaining. It was good. I don't think that it was, oh my God. It wasn't the same reaction that I did give to Bad Bunny.
Right. But I will say,
even,
like, there's times where celebrities are like, oh, that looked not good.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I don't want to say it reminded me of Snooki, because Snooki didn't do as much as Jelly Roll did in her match, but I was impressed with Snooki. And it was one of those things where
now you took it too far for me.
No, because I thought for sure Snooki was going to just suck. But she went in there, I guess she has a gymnastics background or whatever, and I thought she did to her best ability to pull off what a wrestling match should be, I guess.
I don't know. Snooki didn't entertain me.
She hit the handspring, whatever. To me, that was more than I expected from Snooki.
Yeah, it was
Jelly Roll did
nothing
more than
compared.
I expected from Jelly Roll.
Yeah, to me,
and because
Jelly Roll was definitely above Snooki.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're on the same level. I'm just saying it reminds me of that, where you go into it, you're like, well, what could you possibly be expecting? Not to say Snooki didn't move down to Orlando or wherever else to get, like, monthly training or daily training.
He exceeded expectations.
Yeah. Exactly. And
definitely
now
exceeded expectations.
The door is open for him to come back, and I'd be excited to see Jelly Roll again. Mm-hmm. He lost. You got to get that win again. Maybe. After that, the main event of night one, you saw CM Punk pick up the victory over Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. I think CM Punk wanted to prove something in this. From, like, a technical wrestling aspect part of it. Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of people say this match was so boring and they did nothing. Gunther controlled a majority of this match, like a lot of this match. This match, if you took this match and put it in, like, the 80s, maybe the 70s even, it's like, it's such a simple match, but it was executed perfectly.
I agree. I think that the Ring General and CM Punk, definitely they put on a great matchup. No doubt about it.
Gunther, at one point, CM Punk pushed him on the announce table. Mm-hmm. Gunther gets busted the heck open. And then Punk did all his stuff. Gunther reversed the GTS with a sleeper. And CM Punk fought out of it. Eventually hits that GTS. Gunther stayed standing. And got rocked with another GTS for CM Punk to win that. I thought that was a very, very well done worked match between both of them.
I agree. I like the sleeper hold aspect, that how that played factor. I thought the crowd was very entertained the entire time.
I saw somebody compare it to, I don't know, I never saw the movies, but Rocky. And with CM Punk, that to me makes total sense. Where the heel was controlling the full match, and then Rocky gets the big win or whatever.
I heard that too.
I forget who said that, but
yeah, I heard it on Busted Open.
Okay, that might be where I heard it then.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Burn It Down rips through MetLife Stadium. Seth Rollins comes out to a huge pop, but he's on crutches. He's got his leg in a brace. He's got crutches. And he told CM Punk, hold on to it while you can. And he turns around, puts his arms out to the side, drops the crutches, turns back around, takes the brace off. They brawled. Seth Rollins
and the crowd went
beats the
crazy.
heck out of him. Yeah, he beats him up with that Money in the Bank briefcase. And then Seth Rollins cashed in, hit the stomp on CM Punk, and became the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
To which
I thought that this
IWC
entire
complained about.
this entire everything that took place with the setup was incredible. So what did they complain about?
Wow, why did Seth Rollins have to fake an injury? Why did Seth Rollins have to win? I'm tired of Seth Rollins being champion.
Jeez.
Oh, it's the same thing over and over again.
People.
So I was very entertained by that. And then night 2, you open up. Triple H gives a big rah-rah speech or whatever, basically reiterates what he said the night before on the post show, saying that you have not seen anything yet. And then we go into this night 2, what I thought should have been the main event of night 1 ends up opening, which I thought was pretty funny because the match that I thought was going to the match that I wanted to main event ends up opening. The match that I thought was going to main event ends up opening. Naomi picks up the victory over Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to retain the championship. Naomi's entrance I thought was great. It was performed live by her father. I thought that was
I didn't know that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and this match, I liked. Naomi controlled the beginning of it. There were so many good spots between the three of them. I like the repeating bullet train knees that Io did to Rhea and Naomi. Mm-hmm. The split-legged moonsault, and then the over the moonsault spot I thought was nice. That we saw something similar like that recently. But I thought when Rhea Ripley hit that riptide on Naomi, I thought that was about to be it. And I was like, I would have obviously been fine if Rhea Ripley won, but I was really pulling for Naomi here. And Io ends up breaking that up. Later on, Rhea Ripley hit another riptide, this time from the middle rope. And Naomi ends up rolling Rhea Ripley up off of that, uses her tights to get the victory. I wouldn't say that this match was on the same level as their match at Evolution, but this was a very enjoyable match.
I agree with you. I think that this was the proper match to open the PLE for that night.
That next match,
I thought that they did great.
That next match was wild.
You know what? That's very true. You could have actually opened up with the next match. You know?
I was very surprised that most of these matches took place night 2 and you didn't split them up on night 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had TLC, we had, what is it, no DQ? I think we had a cage match, and then we had the street fight.
Yeah.
But we had that next match. Wyatt Six picks up the victory over Andrade and Phoenix. The Street Profits, Fraxium, DIY, and Motor City Machine Guns in the largest TLC match to retain those tag team championships. You had the Dudley Boys sitting ringside. You had the Hardy Boys sitting ringside. That's a mark out moment of the week. I'll say that right now. But all the tag teams, they started this match out attacking the Wyatts, and it broke down. It was pure chaos.
This match was just back and forth, and it was interesting because at times I couldn't tell who the crowd was really getting behind, because there was moments, I
think they were behind everybody but the Wyatts, honestly.
Okay, yeah, because that's the thing. There were moments with the Wyatts where I thought that they were cheering, but then I was listening back and I'm like, I think they're actually booing.
I don't think the Wyatts are heels, but the fans are booing the Wyatts.
Yeah.
I liked the spot pretty early on when Phoenix ran up. I forget whose shoulders it was. It was one of the Street Profits, and he almost grabbed the titles off of that. I thought that was really cool. And then Andrade and him both hit like dual Three Amigos at the same time to the Street Profits. The drop kick downward spiral spot from the Motor City Machine Guns to Joe Gacy onto that chair I thought was great. Johnny Gargano hit that slingshot DDT through the ropes to Joe Gacy to put him through a table. That reminded me of Sabu and Rey Mysterio from One Night Stand. Dexter Lumis then follows that up, hits a dive through a table to the outside. Phoenix did it. Dawkins goes to do it, and then Axiom stops him and hits a Spanish fly off the top rope
through
to
the
the
table.
outside through tables. It was just spot after spot that was just so crazy. Something
there was
else
just
that
so
I
much
wanted,
taking place.
This was the 20th anniversary of the 25th anniversary of the TLC match at SummerSlam 2000, and I was hoping that we would maybe see some outside involvement, maybe like a little tribute. The first one had involvement from Lita, so you had Candice LeRae make her way out. She tried to get the titles, and B-Fab made her way out and got involved, and that led to Nikki Cross getting involved. Candice ends up going from the ring through a bridging ladder.
I mean, that
That's
spot
like
was...
Well,
that was an
everyone's
incredible
like,
spot with
"Welcome back."
Candice.
Yeah, welcome back PWG Candice LeRae.
Yeah, that spot with Candice LeRae, she was just climbing up the ladder trying to help out DIY, and then out of nowhere, Ciampa, he gets pushed, he gets hit right into Johnny Gargano, which led to Johnny Gargano bumping into that ladder, which Candice LeRae was on, and she just went flying through that table.
Eric Rowan got involved, and at one point, I think this is like a really good clip, and I hope they replay it over and over again. Nathan Fraser tried to spear Ciampa off the championship, the rung thing that they have up there. Ciampa ducked it. I don't know if you could say it was a duck. He lifted himself up, and Nathan Fraser missed it. And I thought that was an absolutely brilliant spot to pay tribute to what, at one point, Jeff Hardy and Edge did a spear spot. And I thought that was a great way to get a spear spot in there and then not have it be a copy and paste sort of deal.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've ever seen anybody do that. Maybe like an Ultimate X match, but never a TLC.
Yeah, I could not recall. I just thought that was incredible. Uncle Howdy got involved. DIY ends up going through the stacked tables on the outside, and the Wyatts came back and won the match.
Yeah, and the crowd
well
didn't like that.
But still, again, I was very, very well done, well executed between all six teams.
I agree. Do you think that they're going to drop the titles fairly quick?
I don't know. Last week I had said that if they were to lose them in this, it wouldn't matter to me because it wouldn't be them losing because of them necessarily, but there were six teams involved. Now I don't know who takes those titles.
I kind of see them losing it.
And I don't know when.
I would say sooner than later, I think.
It'd be funny if you fast forward, it's happening on SmackDown as we speak. Who knows?
True.
After that, you had Becky Lynch pick up the victory over Lyra Valkyria to retain the Intercontinental Championship in that no DQ match. I think it was no DQ. Becky Lynch has a brand new theme song done by the Wonder Years, which I think it's going to take a while to connect to the fans. She had that Celtic Invasion theme song for, I think, 10 years. So I think it's going to take a while for people to like... Because when she came out, I think it was Monday Night Raw, people were like, who is this?
Well, I mean, that's also not too bad because she's a heel.
I think you still want to...
I feel like beforehand it was too connected.
I don't know. But I again, this match, you had to follow that TLC match, which I think is a really hard match to follow. I thought they killed it. MetLife Stadium, those garbage fans were doing the wave during this. I hate the wave.
I thought this match was very good.
I thought this was very, very good.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with this match. I'm sorry,
well, I wouldn't say
IWC.
Nothing wrong. There were...
Okay. There's nothing that I'm not going to harp on too long. But if you want to bring it up.
No, early on, though, you had when Becky Lynch had the kendo stick, Lyra Valkyria ends up taking out a crowbar, which I really wonder if that was the weapon of choice because of her doing, like, the bird stuff. I don't know if that was, to me, that was, immediately I was like, crowbar. But I don't know if that's a thing. But Becky Lynch ends up zip-tying Lyra's hands together. She used a wrench on her. She used the kendo stick. Becky Lynch goes to hit the manhandle slam onto chairs, and Lyra ends up getting her arms around Becky Lynch. She hits the belly-to-belly, but it did lead to her arm coming free.
Yeah.
And then she accidentally got her hand stuck again. So and then she, see, if you weren't fully paying attention, I don't think you would have even noticed that. Commentary called it out right away, and then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, she didn't get her hand out," because it was back in there already. But the stuff that she was doing after that, I thought was still good. Like, she had that step up drop kick with her hands tied. She did the moonsault, and after that moment, she was still legit struggling. TV wise, at least, it looked like she was legitimately struggling to get the zip tie off, or try to get the zip tie off.
Mm-hmm.
They missed the actual spot when she did get the zip tie off. But Lyra ends up hitting the Nightwing off the steps. Becky Lynch hits the manhandle slam onto some chairs. The chair spot that was wrapped around Lyra's body, I thought that was nuts. We might have seen that cool. Once before, maybe once before. Not 100% sure. But Becky Lynch goes to use the crowbar, and Bayley showed up. That leads to Bayley brawling with Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch tried to get her to use the crowbar on Lyra, and she refused to, and that's what led to that brawl. And Lyra ends up coming out of nowhere at one point, hits that diving leg drop to put Becky Lynch to a table on the outside. She gets Becky back in the ring, and then Bayley has that chain, which commentator's like, "Oh, where's that chain come from?" I forget at what point they called that spot. You could literally, when Lyra and Becky were by the commentary table, it was literally where Michael Cole's foot would have been.
Mm-hmm.
But Bayley ends up accidentally knocking Lyra Valkyria in the face, leading to Becky Lynch winning off of that. Why didn't Bayley just go into the ring and break up the pin? I didn't get that.
I didn't get that part either. I was very confused why she. I didn't understand why she was so conflicted either. The entire, should I do it? Should I not do it? I was very confused at that. I didn't understand it. Why?
Yeah.
But next up, you had Solo Sikoa pick up the victory over Jacob Fatu in a cage match to retain the championship. This was a battle of the Samoan monsters, but Solo coming out as their survivor with this.
Yeah, you have the MFTs eventually make their way out. Jimmy Uso made the save. He ends up getting taken out by Tala Tonga. And then the MFTs get involved again, end up handcuffing Jacob Fatu to the cage, who goes on to break out of the cuffs. That's another, when you put something like that on the same night, the match right after, you just had a zip tie spot.
I didn't think about that. I don't know.
He breaks out of the cuffs. It was just, I
wouldn't catch that.
It was all of these matches. I didn't understand the match placement.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets out of that. Solo eventually, I guess it felt like Solo kind of got knocked out. I mean, that door, I feel like, also hit Solo. I don't know if that was necessarily the story they were telling. But Jacob Fatu gets knocked back into the cage. Solo Sikoa falls right out. And that's when he wins. Jimmy Uso got back into the fight afterwards. He ends up locking Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa in the cage with Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu hits that moonsault off the top of the cage and hits the moonsault. And
that was such a cool spot for that.
Everyone, myself included, kind of were waiting for Jey Uso in that spot.
True.
After that,
I don't know.
Dominic
I don't know if I was
Mysterio-
waiting for anybody.
I felt like they were outnumbered.
Yeah, they were.
Dominic
Next up,
Mysterio picked up the victory over AJ Styles to retain that Intercontinental Championship. You had AJ Styles coming out with his son, who had his hair bleached. His hair was bleached. I don't know if AJ's son did that for SummerSlam, or if it was just like that's how he keeps his hair, but it plays perfectly into the whole 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Of Ray and Eddie, but AJ comes out with that lowrider. He comes out with Eddie Guerrero in styled gear. Dominic also came out with his own version of what Rey Mysterio wore at SummerSlam 2005. Like color scheme wise, which I thought was really cool. Which Dom was like, oh, we didn't, I forget what the exact wording was, but it was something along the lines of Dominic, I have to assume they were kayfabing. I have to assume both of them knew what they were wearing to go into this match.
No, 100% they knew what they were wearing.
Like, there's no way you're going to have...
They're backstage together. Of course they planned it out. With all the spots.
Not even backstage, though. I mean, they had to have planned, like, oh, we're going to do a SummerSlam 2005 anniversary gimmick.
Of course. This was well planned.
And then Dominic sold it as if, like, oh, he did that on his own. I did this on my own. So I think it's funny. Kayfabe's not fully dead, but the crowd was I was surprised. They were kind of split here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Dominic is getting the fan support.
Dominic, he did the Three Amigos that got broken up with a brainbuster counter from AJ Styles. Dominic cheated during this. He untied the turnbuckle pad. He ends up grabbing a chair. Tried to do the Eddie Guerrero trick where you hit the mat and then fall to the ground. You toss AJ Styles the chair. AJ Styles wrapped the chair around his neck and then fell down.
And the crowd popped so big for this.
Yeah, and then the referee turns around and there's like, well, what happened here? Who knows? They both did low blow spots here. AJ Styles Dominic unzipped his boot. A la WrestleMania 20. So when AJ Styles went for the calf crusher, the boot comes off. And that leads to Dominic being able to use the boot on AJ Styles. He hits the frog splash. He gets the victory. I was such a fan of all the callbacks from... SummerSlam 2005 here. You had WrestleMania 20. You had so many, like, Eddie Guerrero spots in this match. So many tributes. I thought this was so good.
Yeah.
And then you go on afterwards. You see on Twitter afterwards that everyone's like, this sucks. Go to AEW. Will Ospreay's waiting for you, AJ.
I don't understand what sucked about this. This was so entertaining. Like, people are just going to hate for the sake of hating.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. But next up, you had Stephanie McMahon make the announcement that they broke the record for SummerSlam attendance. I think it was like 133.
It was 113. 113.
Oh, so close. Yeah.
But
that's also a combination from both nights.
Yeah, people are like, I don't think that's how it works. Like, I don't know if necessarily that's the record. But 113,000 between two nights is, I think, fantastic.
Yeah, it's a huge number of people there.
And I was very surprised because everyone leading up to SummerSlam on the internet kept tweeting that SummerSlam is half sold. And I'm like, it's not half sold. They deliberately put on like half the stadium cell being sold. And then you get to actual SummerSlam, and that wasn't the case. The only unsold sections, I think, were behind the stage. I was very surprised to see all of that all of it sold, I should say.
Yeah, it's nice to see that sort of a reaction, and especially because you had so many people going into it being like, it's not going to sell that much because the prices are way too high and they're pricing out everybody. But this goes to show that they could price it as high as they want. People are going to buy tickets. I know
honestly,
two.
There were tickets at SummerSlam that I would say weren't crazy priced.
No, I had two or three friends actually go. One of them got last minute the same day.
How much did they pay?
I forgot what he said. It wasn't too crazy. It wasn't too crazy, but he bought it the same day, and the other one, I don't think he had it the same day, but he actually apparently saw John Cena the next day filming by the hospital he works at.
Yeah,
like I think that
when John Cena said he's in New York City filming a movie or whatever, he's actually in New York City filming a movie.
Yeah, I think that's so crazy that the day after his matchup, he's actually waking up very early and getting to New York City to film a movie while everybody else is doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Ton of respect. But yeah. That led us into the main event of the evening as Cody Rhodes picked up the victory over John Cena in a street fight to become your very new WWE champion.
I mean, this was another good match.
Yeah. I think that this match was a lot better than the WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I would say so. This, especially because there wasn't like you expected for there to be outside interference or something, and it wasn't. It was just straight up Cody versus John Cena. Mm-hmm. And they had the aspect of the street fight where they were allowed to go out and do stuff.
And not to say that their WrestleMania match was bad. I still enjoyed it.
Right.
You know, but this
even starting this match, you had Cody Rhodes' entrance include actual lines from Dusty Rhodes promos.
Yeah, with the polka dots appearing.
You had John Cena's entrance start out like that heel Cena, and then color and Tron gets added, and the fans they went absolutely bananas for it. Cody was heavily booed. He was heavily booed during that entrance, and then they open this match. John Cena goes and hugs Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, right off the opening, just cashing in on everything that happened on SmackDown with him doing his face turn.
But I liked even that whole tease of the hug thing because we saw that hug once before and it led to what it led to.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that John Cena used one of Tyrese Halliburton's crutches. Tyrese Halliburton was seen on crutches. He's sitting there standing there front row or whatever, and Cena used it.
Yeah.
I like that. John Cena launching the steps out of the ring at Cody Rhodes, I thought was absolutely insane. I thought Cody Rhodes I was like, in my head 100%, I'm like, oh, obviously Cody's moving. Cody didn't move.
No, he took it.
He got hit by those freaking steps. That was insane.
Yeah.
I thought that was intense. He ate a pile driver during this.
Let's talk about that spot. That pile driver spot. I mean, you had Cody Rhodes stall too with the pile driver to just get the anticipation up there and then planting it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He picked John Cena up. He went to hit a move. John Cena hit an attitude adjustment off of that and then collapses. I liked also when John Cena hit Cody Rhodes with the microphone was on, so we got to hear that.
Yeah, that's always a nice little sound that it makes.
John Cena hit the attitude adjustment from one commentary table to the other commentary table. He also, on the outside, did I think before that spot, might have done the sunset flip powerbomb. I don't know the last time we saw John Cena do that. Part of me is really hoping... I'm really hoping we get to see that lightning fist from John Cena at least once during this run.
I don't remember the lightning fist. I kind of do, but it's like...
Because it was like, oh, John Cena's doing the 5 moves of doom, and he's like, I'm going to introduce a 6th move. And he did a lightning fist. It was just like a fist. But
Jeez.
they eventually go into the crowd. They utilize that metal barricade that I spoke about the other week. They went under the stage at one point, and John Cena, it was a perfect, like, cinematic moment. John Cena, they take the Cody Vader up, and John Cena has Cody Rhodes up in an attitude adjustment position. And he chucks him on
with the spotlight.
Yeah, and he chucks
with
him
the
down that
spotlight.
ramp. I thought that was great. And then John
Yeah.
Cena carried Cody all the way back to the ring. Cody tossed him through a table that John Cena set up. He hit the crossroads. John Cena kicks out of that. Cody takes the bottom turnbuckle off. Has the
Heel.
whole rope off.
Heel.
And uses it. John Cena eventually used that rope to hit the SCFU. And Cody got out of it. He hits the trifecta. And I thought that was a very good kick out spot.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes grabbed the championship. And John Cena ends up catching him with a double attitude adjustment. He picks up the championship and then tosses it down. And he goes up to the middle rope for a super attitude adjustment, which was another good kick out spot. And then John Cena went for another super attitude adjustment to put Cody through a table. Cody got out of it, hit a very ugly Cody cutter.
Yep.
Through the table. That was a very, very ugly Cody cutter. I'm sure they were not planning for it to look like that. And he salutes John Cena, hits another crossroads, picks up the victory, and the IWC. This is a terrible match. He did attitude adjustment after attitude adjustment.
What did you want him to do? What did you want him to do?
Cody Rhodes isn't this super.
It doesn't have to be. It's not the John Cena of 2008. You know? It's okay.
So after the match, John Cena hands Cody Rhodes the championship to celebrate a passing of the torch moment. He raises Cody Rhodes' arm. Cody left John Cena in the ring to get cheered, have his final moment at MetLife Stadium, probably the final moment in front of a tri-state area crowd.
Yeah.
How's John Cena's retirement tour not a stop in Madison Square freaking Garden? His very first pay-per-view, his very first title victory.
Well, they haven't announced it yet, have they?
No, I think there's 3 other dates that they haven't announced.
Yeah, I don't think they've even announced the MSG date yet.
No,
or just like in general.
I don't think
not John Cena related, but in general, I don't think they announced anything yet.
Well, they wouldn't announce that until later on in the year.
Huh.
I was expecting John Cena to do at
out.
least one more holiday tour.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to do MSG. What they're going to do is they're going to wait until closer to the holiday season, and then they're going to announce John Cena will be making.
The holiday tour date would be after John Cena's retirement date. Not that the date is already set in stone, but John Cena said that it's mid-December.
I'm sorry. He's going to be at. I will bet that he will be at MSG at least by the time he retires.
If John Cena does not work Madison Square Garden in 2025, I will have been at his last Madison Square Garden match. And that would make me perfectly fine with it.
That's pretty cool.
Because I would have that. Knowing that the only time I got to see John Cena on his retirement tour was at Fanatics Fest and not actually wrestling, I would be happy with the fact knowing that I saw his last match at Madison Square Garden, at least.
I think he's going to be there.
Who knows? But
I think he's going to be there.
He's celebrating the crowds, chanting, "Thank you, Cena." And then
on his way... Oh, yeah.
Brock Lesnar's music hits. The fans go absolutely insane. His last appearance was at SummerSlam 2023. And
I gotta say, the reaction of the live crowd versus the reaction of the IWC was very different.
The IWC, I think, is right to react the way that they're reacting on that one. I don't know. Obviously, he hits the F5 on John Cena. I don't even want to get into this much, but obviously you know what Brock Lesnar did, or allegedly Brock Lesnar was accused of They say that his lawyers, not his lawyers, WWE cleared it or whatever. The legal department cleared him.
But Brock Lesnar is back. He got right into the ring, hit that F5, laid out John Cena, and the crowd went crazy. I mean, you heard Michael Cole reacting on the commentary for Brock Lesnar as well. And apparently now Brock Lesnar has the top 3 selling t-shirts on WWE Shop.
But I'm still like at a loss of words when it comes to all of that.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar's back.
After SummerSlam, after Monday Night Raw, we'll put it here though, because it pertains to premium live events. This week, news broke that starting in 2026, ESPN will have the exclusive rights for WWE premium live events, where it seems like they're going to be airing on the new ESPN app coming out later this year. But if I'm understanding it correctly, it seems like every event outside of the Big Four, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, it seems like that might actually air on ESPN TV.
That would be so cool.
I'm not 100% sure on that. If you have, also they say if you have ESPN in your cable package, you have access to the app. So that's like an HBO Max deal where I have HBO in my cable, I have HBO Max. I was very, very worried when this came out. The whole press release, I think, was worded poorly because it didn't state that. Other people had to, like, dig for that. So I do hope that's the actual case, and I do have access to the ESPN app through that. So Monday Night Raw next year has... Obviously, it'll be on Netflix. CW is going to have NXT. SmackDown will continue to be on USA Network. It seems like Peacock is going to still have the library for SmackDown and everything else. Obviously, not Raw. Raw is Netflix. And NXT is just gone, which is garbage. But, and then, yeah, PLE's on ESPN. And then rumors started swirling that TNA and AAA might actually get onto Peacock, which would be huge. I can understand people being annoyed by all of this, but if that is the case with me having access via cable, I'm happy. I'm just thankful.
Well, there you go. As long as Brandon's happy, you know.
There's like when they first announced this, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not buying an ESPN app. I don't have any reason to buy an ESPN app. So I'm like, am I just not going to have access to another premium live event? And then people, they did digging or whatever, and they're like, oh, it should be included if you have it in your cable package. You have the access. It'll just sign in through your cable provider. I'm like, oh, well, I'm good.
Yeah, they could have done better with all of that.
I think YouTube TV works as well. It was like a $1.6 billion deal, more than the Netflix deal, I think. WWE is not owned by Disney, but they are now in the Disney family, kind of, streaming rights-wise. I will very much so push for WWE to have some sort of involvement in the parks.
That would be pretty cool. You know?
Disney Springs, some WWE related there. Yeah.
I mean, we have the universe. Well, that's not Disney. That's
That'd
Universal.
be great. What do you mean we have the universe?
No, I meant Universal Studios with the Wyatts. But that's not Disney.
Halloween Horror Nights. What a double dip, huh? Where's your Mason Dixon line there?
Right?
you have Universal getting the Wyatt 6, and then you have Disney World. Well, Disney World's not getting anything, but
Brothers of Destruction.
But what if they have? I mean, I could see the wide world of sports doing some sort of event there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why they can't have like an NXT event or something over there.
True.
Interesting. Although they say the NXT events might still be on Peacock, who knows? We need to wait until 2026 to see everything. So
we got time, everybody. Don't worry. It's going to be okay.
It'll be here before you know it. So,
True.
moving over to Monday Night Raw, it kicked off with The Vision. We finally know that it's named The Vision. But Paul Heyman hyped Seth Rollins up. Seth Rollins said that basically shame to everybody who turned on him after he won at WrestleMania. And basically said never doubt him again. And he brought up, I always have the plan B. Plan B was top secret. Becky Lynch knew, Paul Heyman knew. And then LA Knight interrupted and brought up how people questioned why Seth Rollins needed to fake an injury. And LA Knight said that Seth Rollins faked the injury to get out of facing LA Knight because LA Knight said he was going to hurt Seth Rollins. And then he said he was the last person to beat Seth Rollins, and he'll be the next person to do so. Challenged Seth Rollins for a match on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins hyped it up like he was about to say yes, and then, of course, says no. However, Adam Pearce came out and said that he wouldn't normally sanction a match with no promotion. But since Seth Rollins lied to Adam Pearce's medical team week after week, the match will in fact happen at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed banned from ringside. We'll put a pin in all of that. First match.
Toss a pin in that one.
First match of Monday Night
Sheamus.
Raw. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheamus taking on Rusev, but this ended in a count-out.
I think they
it
said,
started off as
no
heavy
contest, but it was 100%. How is it not a count-out?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to build up to a pay-per-view match, definitely.
I mean, it has to. Some sort of stipulation, I
Right.
would assume, between the two of them. I
Yeah.
will say I popped the cast of Wednesday, sat ringside for this.
I couldn't get into the new season.
I watched all 4 episodes already.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about that probably next week or so.
Yeah, I'm struggling to get my attention with it.
But I will say Luis Guzman was part of one of my favorite intros to Monday Night Raw ever, where Roddy Piper hosted Monday Night Raw in 2009, I think it was, at Madison Square Garden. And they did a live from New York bit to open. It was like a cold open where Iron Sheik was there, and Roddy Piper was talking to the Bella Twins. He's like, I said Iron Chef, not Iron Sheik. He wanted Bobby Flay. And Luis Guzman was there, and they all did the live from New York. It's Monday Night Raw. So, but back
That's
to the
funny.
match. You had Sheamus start off right away. I like the spot where Rusev was doing the 10 beats of the Bodhrán, and Sheamus, he stopped to yell at the crowd, and he gets back, he backs up into the barricade. Sheamus does it to him.
That was
And
a cool
then-
spot.
And then him and Sheamus, they brawled more. That led to them getting counted out. They brawled all over the place. It continued during the night, which scared the heck out of me at one point when they were doing Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were backstage, and they just came brawling through. I wasn't expecting to hear that then.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree.
after that, you had Penta pick up the victory over Grayson Waller, who earlier had interrupted a conversation between Penta and Adam Pearce to try to get New Day a tag team title match. And Adam Pearce ends up making this match. New Day actually kind of there for Grayson Waller this time. They had come out mid-match and did commentary. But I thought it was decent back and forth. I think Penta winning was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And then New
I
Day
agree.
got in the ring afterwards, and Penta ended up taking them out. He had Xavier Woods' hat. That went viral. It was pretty funny. Giant
That
hat.
was pretty cool. I did like the hat spot.
Yeah.
You know, where was Austin Theory though?
Austin Theory's injured. Didn't you hear that promo last week or whatever?
Oh, he's legit injured off.
Yeah, and they split them up. Grayson Waller
Aye.
broke up with him.
All right.
After that, you had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss cut a promo, which I thought was weak. I thought this was a weak promo, but the Judgment Day interrupted, and they said that they want their titles back. And Charlotte was like, screw it, we'll put the titles on the line right now. And Adam Pearce made it official. which popped me big time because earlier in the night, he came out and people cheered him because he made the match. So he comes out during this and people boo him right away. And he goes, what? And then makes the match official. And I thought that was so funny, the way that he reacted to that. Like, they were instantly booing him. And he's like, what? I didn't even say anything yet. So he makes the match. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss pick up the victory over the Judgment Day to retain. I felt like most of this match took place during commercials. So not much really took place. The crowd popped big time for that Sister Abigail DDT that won the match, though. And I'm enjoying this team right now.
I am open to having this continue. You know, Charlotte and Bliss, they have a lot going on right now. And also, let's face it, it keeps Charlotte Flair away from the title scene.
She's in the title scene, brother.
Is she, though?
You have to specify which title.
True. The WWE Women's Championship title scene.
Also, Alexa Bliss has not been in NXT in years. So my fingers are crossed that we could possibly see that.
Have her show up.
I think Charlotte Flair was like 5 years. Alexa Bliss was maybe like, I don't know, if it was like 8 years or so.
Wow.
Maybe even more. I'm not sure. But Io Sky and Rhea Ripley had a segment afterwards where Io apparently had asked Adam Pearce for a one-on-one match against Naomi, which you had the Kabuki Warriors offer Io help to win, but she said no. I think we could see them turn on Io, and I could see Io and Rhea end up being a tag team.
Io and Rhea.
I would be surprised if we don't see the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io.
That would definitely be something else. I'd be up for it.
And again, Io
Nice
reminds Rhea Ripley, like, you can't beat me.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that comes, it's going to pop off.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, Dominic Mysterio pick up the victory over Dragon Lee. Again, Dominic was cheered here.
Dominic is so over.
They promoted the match for Triple Mania, and I'm sure he'll be the one cheered there. El Grande Americano ran out, also got cheered. The second El Grande, or I guess technically the third El Grande Americano showed up. Dragon Lee took both of them out, and then a third, or a fourth perhaps, showed up. Hit Dragon Lee, and Dominic used the rope in front of the referee to get the victory. Referee somehow didn't see that rope spot, but AJ Styles had spoken to Dominic Mysterio earlier and said he's coming for the Intercontinental Championship. And he ran out afterwards and attacked Dominic Mysterio. Will we see AJ Styles cost Dominic the match for Triple Mania?
Mm-hmm.
Or will Dominic win that mega championship?
I think that Dominic's going to win. And then to follow that up, I think that we're going to have Rey Mysterio challenge for it.
In a perfect world, I would love to see John Cena return.
No. I mean, it would be nice, but I think that it would be awesome. I would be in a perfect world. Dirty Dom versus Rey Mysterio in AAA for the championship.
Or Juan Cena costs Dom the match at Triple Mania. Dominic Mysterio gets pissed off, and John Cena ends up facing Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship and becomes that Grand Slam champion. John Cena needs the Intercontinental Championship.
That's crazy. He's not a Grand Slam champion.
Never won the IC title.
Imagine how the IWC would react to that.
I don't know. I don't know how they'd react. I could assume how they'd react, but... Earlier in the night, we saw Bayley try to apologize to Lyra Valkyria, and Lyra was like, I don't want to hear it. Stay away from me. We're not good for each other. We're not friends. It was heartbreaking to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, you had Becky Lynch come out. She mentioned how Lyra won't be getting a title shot anymore. She brought up new challengers, and Nikki Bella showed up. And she said Becky Lynch turned out to be such a disappointment. And the reason why Nikki Bella came back is because this version of the women's division is the best it's ever been. And then she questioned why Becky Lynch came back, and it seemed like it was all to become champion again. It wasn't to elevate talent, even though we did see her elevate talent, so...
Mm-hmm.
And then they went back and forth about Happy Gilmore, and Nikki Bella said that Becky Lynch, like Seth Rollins, is a liar. Nobody's buying her lies, and Becky Lynch ends up bringing up John Cena, which led to a challenge for that championship, and Becky Lynch popped Nikki Bella in the jaw and left. Do we see Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus John Cena and Nikki Bella?
I'm going to say no to that.
I mean, that's a match that was set up.
I'm going to say no to that, but I'm going to say that Becky Lynch, wow. Like, everything that she was saying to her was jaw-dropping.
They got a chant for it, which you never really hear that for promos. And then backstage, Natalya questioned Becky Lynch after and challenged her to a match, and Becky Lynch was like, okay, I accept, but it's her, and points to Maxine. There's history between Becky Lynch and Maxine, so do I expect for Maxine to beat Becky Lynch next week? No, but I think we'll see, I hope we'll see like a surprising match there.
Mm-hmm.
The main event.
Yeah.
Saw LA Knight pick up the victory over Seth Rollins via disqualification. Seth Rollins retains the World Heavyweight Championship. In a perfect world, LA Knight was walking out of Barclays Center as the brand new champion. They brawled outside the ring a bit to start the match, and after that, it was pretty even. Seth Rollins ends up low blowing LA Knight outside the ring. Kind of awkward. He ripped up the padding to stomp LA Knight on, and CM Punk showed up. You couldn't freaking help him win the championship? In what world? You couldn't wait? Wouldn't it be like more in your face LOL if you helped LA Knight become the champion and Seth Rollins loses the title day one? Or day two, I should say.
This is all going to play into factor with what you mentioned to me.
With what? What did I say?
I mean, you mentioned to me about LA Knight being Plan B.
Who knows?
I said that it's way too early for LA Knight to be revealed as a Plan B, but you play it out. Look at this. He lost. CM Punk cost LA Knight the victory over here. Also, the championship victory. But also, LA Knight was the person that was in the match with Seth Rollins at the time when he started the injury. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe LA Knight was in on it the entire time.
And then LA Knight tried to question CM Punk about it. He shoved him off, and CM Punk ends up eating a spear from Braun Breaker. The Vision take out LA Knight. And it seemed like Monday Night Raw was going off the air. The Vision up by the ramp posing, and he... Roman Reigns ends up returning. Or not returning, but showing up.
Yeah.
And he at first took them out alone. Seth Rollins retreated. And ended up when Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker gotten back into the mix, Seth Rollins stomped Roman Reigns. He ate a spear. He ate 3 tsunamis. It was rumored that he'd be off television to go film Street Fighter. But he was announced for Monday Night Raw in Philadelphia. That's in 2 weeks, so technically he could be written off until then, but...
Could be.
So, and Bronson Reed stole his shoes again.
Yeah, it's Bronson Reed just taking the shoes. I like the gimmick. I dig it.
Moving over to NXT, which kicked off. Kalani Jordan picked up the victory over Blake Monroe via count out. I think Kalani Jordan killed it in this match.
I agree. I think that this was it was a great match. The finish was,
I wasn't expecting Kalani Jordan to win, but the finish was the finish because of what they set up. You had Jordan Grace show up.
Yeah.
She didn't think Jordynne Grace was going to be there. And Blake Monroe got chased out. I mean, Jordynne Grace went into the ring and chased her through the crowd, right out into a car. And Blake Monroe escaped. And then Ava set up a match for Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe at Heatwave. It makes sense.
It makes sense. I think Kalani Jordan has a bright future, too.
I think you say that every week.
I really do. I mean, and I can say that about so many of the people on NXT, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, talking about bright futures, next up, Hank and Tank picking up the victory over Chase U to retain the tag team championships.
This
Once
was
again,
chaotic.
Yeah.
A bit awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Cal Dixon was probably the person that impressed me the most in this match. Uriah at one point saved Cal, but there was no way that Chase U was winning this match. I didn't understand why they had to repeat that ending.
Okay, so so let's talk about that ending because
Which, by the way, in that TLC match, the Street Profits had to repeat a spot, which made no sense. When they back body dropped Joe Gacy onto the ladder, he missed, and then they went and did it again.
True. So with this one, I am okay with them repeating it because it wasn't a direct repeat. So what happened was, I don't know why the referee called it. Well, why the referee stopped the count.
Maybe he was distracted by what happened.
No, there's no. The referee made a mistake on that.
Probably.
You know, the referee made a mistake on that. But I think Hank and Tank did great to recover for that mistake because they picked up the wrestler, and what they didn't go directly into the finisher. They did a turnbuckle move, then they did another move, and then they went back into that finish.
It was still very awkward, though.
It definitely was very awkward.
No fault to them. No fault.
The referee.
Not to any of the four, but
no. But I think that the fact that they did some moves before doing the finish again, that I was good with.
And then
usually I would be like, why are you picking them up going right back into it? But I like that they actually got other stuff in there.
And that's not the Street Profits did the same thing. You could say like, oh, well, Joe Gacy moved, and they really wanted to do damage to him or whatever. But
I mean, that's just that's just tough.
Dark Stage showed up afterwards and attacked everyone. I'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
You had Miles
Next
Bourne
up, you had
pick up
Miles
the victory
Bourne
over
pick up the victory.
Lexus King.
Awkward.
Good back and forth. Lexus King at one point stomped Miles his head on the steps, and he kept going. And I think part of me wants to say, based off of that knee move that Miles Bourne won with, part of me thinks Lexus King is going to claim to be deaf now.
It's funny that you said that. Because I saw that happen with him grabbing the ear and stuff. I'm like, I wonder if there's any relation to that and Miles Bourne. Like earlier
when Lexus King stomped Miles onto the steps, Miles, you could see him like holding his ear and like doing something. After the match, Lexus King was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think
it's interesting.
I think we're going to see that. After that, Nia Jax picked up the victory over Thea Hale, which Thea Hale got way more in than I expected her to. I liked, at one point, she hit a clothesline on Nia Jax, and she also fell down. But ultimately, Nia Jax, that finish was insane. She ripped Thea Hale off the top rope. I don't know if Thea hit her head or not. It seemed like she did. But Nia Jax won with the Annihilator. And then she was interviewed afterwards about Lash Legend, and Nia questioned basically what has Lash done. And Lash came out, they brawled. It was broken up pretty quickly. But like Sheamus and Rusev, this continued throughout the night. And Ava ends up setting a match up for them next week.
Ava has a lot of things to be doing back there.
Yeah. After that, Obafemi
Next
came
up,
out.
Yeah, you had Obafemi come out, and you had, I know I'm trying to get in here to intro a little bit. We keep on overlapping a little bit. But Obafemi came on out and started going at it with, we had the Battle of the Words, Obafemi and Trick Williams.
Yeah, he asked who will step up next, and Trick showed up, and he questioned why he can't be the one to carry two brands. And then Javon Evans showed up and made fun of Trick Williams. He said that they should fight, and whoever wins between the two of them gets a shot at Obafemi. Trick Williams said no to having that match in Orlando, but yes to having it in a few weeks in Philadelphia. And then Moose showed up and said Trick Williams has a match with him at Emergence. He's taken that title at Emergence. And then also went on to put Obafemi on notice. And
probably not
Dark
the best.
State. Dark State showed up again and attacked, or tried to attack them, and the four of them stood tall. Dark State also, I think, I'm not sure if it was probably before that moment. Dark State cut a promo. That Cutler James promo was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But Ava then set up a match for Philadelphia, and also for next week, an 8-man tag match. Hank and Tank then went up to Ava. They were like, we want Dark State, right after she made the match. And she's like, well, I can't give you a match with Dark State, but I could give you a match for Heatwave against two members of Dark State for those titles. So do we see Hank and Tank losing the titles to Dark State? I don't know.
No.
Hopefully not. It's very interesting, though, that Moose is involved here. The other members of the system already took out Dark State.
I hope not. I mean, I think that Hank and Tank have a lot ahead of them. I hope not.
So, backstage, You saw Charlie Dempsey talking to Ren Sinclair, and he was, I guess, perhaps maybe you would say sad. And Ren Sinclair was like, well, there's more time for us now. And then she said Joe Hendry's name, and he came out of a refrigerator. She was also dressed like Joe Hendry, which I thought was funny. And Joe gave him, I guess, Joe Hendry outfit of sorts, which Charlie Dempsey threw down, and it turned into a match that we'll see.
I thought that him coming out of that refrigerator was hilarious, though.
Yeah, that's a thing that TNA has done for a few years now. So it made its way onto NXT TV. It reminded me of the Glorious Bomb.
Out of a refrigerator?
Well, not necessarily out of a refrigerator, but stuff very comedically similar to that. It reminded me of the one episode of Cooking with Brandon where I popped out from behind the grill.
No, memories.
After that, Stax picked up the victory over Inamura. Before the match, Stax attacked him. Ariana Grace spoke to Stax beforehand, so we're getting some sort of on-screen connection between the two of them. I liked Stax going for that splash that Inamura does, and Inamura just threw him off the top rope, but he slapped the hell out of him.
Yeah, that Inamura, that slap. Damn.
And then
jeez.
Ariana Grace showed up and slapped the hell out of Inamura. Yeah. I don't know how that's not a disqualification. Right in front of the referee. Referee rest discretion there.
Technically, it should be.
And then Josh Briggs dropped Inamura from behind with the referee seeing all that commotion. Didn't see that, and Stax won off of that. So I guess this is the start of Ariana Grace and Stax being an on-air item.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Speaking of Ariana Grace, you had Ethan Page after that speak about Santino Marella not being able to get the job done last week, but he gave him credit because he's still a Canadian or whatever, and he listed a bunch of great Canadians, and he put himself at the top of the list. He asked for people to stand for the Canadian national anthem.
Go ahead,
Tavion
sing
Heights.
it.
Tavion Heights. Oh, not going to do that. Tavion Heights interrupted, and he said that it's time for him to break out into NXT, challenged him for a match, and then Chelsea Green and the Secret Service showed up, yelled at Tavion Heights for interrupting the Canadian national anthem, and Tavion Heights ends up swinging on Ethan Page and said that he'll find a woman who would fight Chelsea. I can't even fathom what that match is about to be. I don't know who Tavion Heights... I mean, it's clear as day you could pick Ren Sinclair, but I guess you just left No Quarter Catch Crew, so it's probably not going to be Ren Sinclair. People I saw say it might be Jade Cargill. I don't know.
I don't know if I see that. That's tough to see.
I mean, I have no idea who else it would be.
Yeah.
Could be Lola Vice, but who knows? Main event of NXT saw Sol Ruka pick up the victory over Tatum Paxley to retain the North American Championship. This was 100% the match of the night. And I said before, when we were talking about Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch at SummerSlam, I hate when people do the wave. I literally, I can't stand it. I absolutely hate it. In this match, it makes perfect sense for the fans to do that. I thought that was good. That was the only time I've never not hated the wave.
Mm-hmm.
But Sean Spears got involved.
This was a solid matchup, though.
Yes, Spears got involved, and Sol Ruka eventually takes out the calling. Referee continued to let them be ringside. I didn't understand that. You get involved once, how do you just let them stay? I think they had some good counters in this match. Tatum did that neck breaker from the top rope when Sol Ruka went for something. And then Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, brawled out to the ringside area. That distracted everybody, and in the distractions, Sol Ruka was able to hit the Soul Snatcher on Tatum Paxley and get that victory to retain that championship.
Perfectly nailed it.
I just want more matches from Tatum Paxley. I think she's a great talent. So, we'll see.
Yeah, it would be cool to get more with Tatum.
But that's NXT. Moving over to SmackDown. It kicked off with John Cena. Montreal going absolutely nuts for John Cena. Like, wild for John Cena. Probably one of the craziest pops that we've heard in pro wrestling this year. But he spoke about the crowd. He spoke about how it's not going to last forever. And he said there's 11 dates left, which makes him afraid. And he's afraid because he doesn't know if, when it's all said and done, if it's enough, and if he'll maybe have let down the fans. And he's afraid that after he's gone, they're not going to remember him, which I think is an absurd thing to say. He's John Cena. If you watch television, he's even narrating commercials. But he brought up Brock Lesnar. He said he would never choose Brock Lesnar to fight, but he's not backing down, so if he wants some, come get some. And he also said that anyone in the back, now is the time. If you want some, come get some. Logan Paul showed up and said that this version of John Cena is making him absolutely sick. And then he used John Cena's words against John Cena. He called him a liar. And he said that he wants a match which sets up Clash in Paris. And then Drew McIntyre attacked John Cena from behind. Cody Rhodes made the save, which led to the main event of SmackDown, which I'll put a pin in. First match of SmackDown saw the MFTs pick up the victory over the Motor City Machine Guns. Motor City, they controlled the beginning of this match. Tonga Loa got involved, and then the MFTs turned it around, and then Chris Sabin was able to get back in a bit, but Tala Tonga ends up putting a stop to that. Puts a huge chokeslam on Chris Sabin for the victory. Solo Sikoa spoke afterwards, and he said that they're going to be tag team champions soon. He put himself over as the U.S. champion, and he's like, it's such a shame because I'm in my gear, ready for a fight. Nobody's here for a fight. And then Nick Aldis showed up, and he said he had a very special guest backstage visiting, which you had to understand. You had to know who it was. You had to assume who it was going to be. And he said that they're ready for a fight. It was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn obviously got that huge pop and all the Olay chants, and he picked up the victory over Solo Sikoa. I like the moment where the MFTs at one point, when Sami was outside the ring, they all surrounded him. I thought that was a nice spot, but Sami gets back in the ring, and when the referee was distracted, Tala Tonga took Sami Zayn down. He came back from it, kicked away the Samoan spike, hits the exploder suplex, which he wasn't able to hit earlier in the match. And then he went for the Huluva kick. You saw Tonga Loa get on the apron. Sami Zayn took him out, hit another exploder. Jeff Cobb got up, and Sami Zayn drew him into the ring. And then when the referee was dealing with that, Tala Tonga got up on the apron. Solo Sikoa rocked Sami Zayn with a kick, and he went for that Samoan spike. But Sami Zayn ducked it, hit him with a quick schoolboy pin. I think that was also something you probably could have seen coming, with them being in Montreal, getting that hometown pop and everything. I thought it was a nice match. The Wyatt Six aired a video about the tag team division where they all spoke, including Dexter Lumis, which is it's always so weird hearing and seeing him speak. But DIY after that got into the faces of the Street Profits. Candice LeRae has a huge bruise on her leg from that ladder spot at SummerSlam. But Nick Aldis walked into this and he's like, I thought you guys would be done with all of this by now. And he sets up a tag team match for next week on SmackDown between the two teams. Later on, Carmelo Hayes went to go to Nick Aldis to get a U.S. Championship match. And Miz ends up coming out of the office, which it turns out that Miz got Mello Don't Miz a tag team title shot. Mello left. Nick Aldis showed up, which is weird. Why did Miz leave when he did? Because Nick Aldis wasn't there. And Miz was like, oh, I got something to talk to you about. Does that maybe we'll see Miz get the U.S. Championship match next week and not Carmelo Hayes? Maybe they don't actually have a tag match. You had a segment with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Charlotte told Alexa Bliss that she had a birthday surprise for her, so they went to the ring. There was a big cake that said, congratulations, Charlotte, in like a big font. And then a tiny, and Alexa, and also P.S. Happy Birthday, I think it was. And the gift was a Lily doll with a We're Not Friends t-shirt. And then Charlotte said, oh, I also have this. I figured since you have this, I have to have this. She took out the Charlie Lily doll that Alexa Bliss gave her in 2021. So I popped for that, and Charlotte was like, you could hug me as well. And then they were interrupted by Chelsea Green and the Secret Service. It led to a match after Nick Aldis showed up. I feel like this segment, like their segment, their promo on Monday Night Raw, it was weak. But like I said, I popped big time for that, for the Charlie doll being used again. And then Charlotte goes on to beat Chelsea Green. I think they had some decent back and forth. It was a pretty even match. But Chelsea signaled for the Secret Service to get that cake in the ring. They pushed it into the ring. I thought that was a funny way of doing it as well. And Alexa Bliss takes them out. Charlotte reverses the Unpretty Her. And Chelsea lands face first into it. Gets locked in the figure eight and loses the match. I thought that was well done. Backstage, we saw Tiffany Stratton interviewed. And she said that she's going to be keep doing what she's been doing and proving everybody wrong. Jade Cargill showed up and told her to be thankful that her foot got on the rope and that next time the story will be different. And Tiffany Stratton said that although the story may be different next time, the outcome will still be the same. I thought that was a great response from her. And Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton ends up leaving. And Julia and Kiana James show up. And they Kiana James offered a business card to Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill ends up, I guess, technically turning it down and gave the card to Mia Yim. So I think that's funny. And then you also had another backstage segment where John Cena ran into R-Truth before the main event. A little WrestleMania 9 doink moment between the two of them. And R-Truth said that if John Cena's back, then he's back. I guess it's only right for them two to have a segment together. I don't know if we'll see more with R-Truth. I was excited to see a main event sort of roll, but I guess that's maybe silly to have thought that. Maybe we won't see R-Truth and John Cena on TV again. Maybe we won't see R-Truth in the main event scene again. It's still a dream of mine to see him become WWE champion. Highly unlikely. But it was still funny seeing John Cena basically gaslight R-Truth into saying everything was him the past 5 months. But the main event saw John Cena and Cody Rhodes pick up the victory over Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre via disqualification. This was almost out of a live event, John Cena-wise. The way he was acting outside on the ring apron, like everything John Cena was doing on that ring apron just reminded me of something you'd only see at a live event. Completely over the top, very cartoony. I did like John Cena trying to get the crowd to stop cursing. I thought that was funny. But the heels held Cody in the ring. They did a good job at that. And then eventually John Cena gets the hot tag. God bless John Cena for using that tag rope. He hits the 5-knuckle shuffle on Logan Paul. He hits an attitude adjustment. McIntyre breaks it up. He went to Claymore John Cena. Cody Rhodes takes him out. And then John Cena goes to pick Logan Paul up. Logan Paul low blows him. They brawl to the back. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre continue brawling in the ringside area. Drew McIntyre ends up clocking Cody Rhodes with the championship. And then he put the title down, Claymored Cody Rhodes right through the commentary table. I thought that was a great spot. It sets up Clash in Paris for Logan Paul and John Cena. And I have to assume Clash in Paris for Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes with the WWE Championship on the line. That was SmackDown. Going to take a quick little break right now, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
He was marking out, man!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out episode 757. Moving over to AEW Dynamite, that kicked off Jon Moxley picking up the victory over Speedball Mike Bailey. This should have been over in a minute or two. None of this match came off as Jon Moxley barging into a production meeting to demand a fight with anybody on the roster. There's zero reason this match had a commercial break. Darby Allin showed up and kidnapped Wheeler Yuta. They ended up finding him in a body bag. Darby drove off. There was a challenge stapled to Wheeler Yuta's forehead for Forbidden Door, which at this point, Forbidden Door should probably have its name changed. Yet Alex Windsor pick up the victory over Billy Starks, Queen Aminata, and Sky Blue to advance to the Forbidden Door TBS 4-way. I really don't get how any of them got into this match to have the opportunity when so many others have better records than them. This was a chaotic match. I feel like they don't set the women up to be properly showcased. Because there were a bunch of sloppy spots in this match, unfortunately. And I think matches like this work against the women. You see Athena get involved, that's fine. Toni Storm pulled her out of the ring, that's fine. Alex Windsor ends up countering Billy Starks to get the victory there. I had a feeling that she would be the one moving on. It only makes sense for her to have been the one to move on. Mercedes Moné came out afterwards. She got in Alex Windsor's face. Toni Storm got in the ring. Athena hit the Eclipse on her, and then Mercedes hit a backstabber on Alex Windsor. The women deserve more TV time in AEW. I can't say that enough. Because this was the only women's segment. I thought for sure Mercedes was going to have her own segment. It was just this. And then if you count the her pulling up to the arena earlier. You had Brodito pick up the victory over the Young Bucks to advance. I think During their backstage segment, it hit me that the Young Bucks are being treated like Cody Rhodes gets treated by AEW fans. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but it seems like that's what they're doing with the Young Bucks right now. Also, this week they were introduced as Max and Jeremy, which I think that was truly the last time they were actually a good tag team. They've had good tag team matches, great tag team matches, but the actual last time they were truly a good tag team was when they were Generation Me in TNA. This match at one point fell apart big time. I don't know if that was on purpose. The commentary spun it as if to say like, oh, Bandito and Brody King, brand new tag team. Of course, they'll have problems like that, which it's very possible that's what they were doing. I'm not sure if they were. The referee at one point just stopped officiating, and that was very annoying. But it's a breath of fresh air to see Brody King and Bandito move on versus the Young Bucks, because everybody thought the Young Bucks were going to be in the finals. Main event, very quick episode of Dynamite. I felt like they could have done so much more on this episode. MJF picked up the victory over Mark Briscoe. MJF earlier in the night tried to get MVP to ditch Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. I still feel like that chapter of the Hurt Business is not done with MJF, but who knows? The crowd fighting, I didn't need. The referee didn't care. They were in the crowd. The referee didn't care that Mark Briscoe took a chair out. The way he used the chair, I think, was fine. He took a table out. The referee didn't care. Over and over again, the referee was just not caring about things, which is why when MJF did that spot where he had to like throw the referee away in order to cheat and poke Mark Briscoe in the eyes, at what point, the referee was barely officiating. Why does that matter? Why did you need to do it? The referee wouldn't have called the DQ. You saw everything else in the match. There wasn't any DQs coming. Mark Briscoe spent the whole match trying to get the froggy bow. He eventually hits it. MJF kicked out. I like that aspect of the match. Mark Briscoe ended up going through the table that he set up. And then MJF wanted the referee to count him out. Mark Briscoe, he got up, he made it up on the apron, and the referee just stopped counting. I think as Mark Briscoe got up on the apron, the referee should have counted that 10. But then MJF grabbed him, that resets the count. And then he pinned Mark Briscoe to win. Mark Briscoe's foot ends up on the rope. Referee turned completely the other way. He wasn't even looking at the pin to count the final 3. Terrible officiating. Always. The referee always looks so goofy. And then MJF MJF attacked Mark Briscoe afterwards, and Hangman came out. They brawled all throughout the arena. This, I felt like, was kind of like a 180 from Collision. Like Collision was a 180 from Dynamite. Dynamite last week I thought was so bad. Collision was good. This Dynamite, very, very mid. You need more women on your shows. You need them. So that's AEW Dynamite. Hey, Brandon, got any shout-outs?
Damn it, Bobby. How many times do I have to tell you to listen to Brandon's shout-outs?
Twisted Metal is back for Season 2 on Peacock after 2 years. I think it's crazy that Season 1 was in 2023. But this
No way.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's crazy. This new season has 2 more episodes than Season 1 did, but they're releasing them a couple each week until the end of August, as opposed to them releasing all of them at once like they did in 2023. But this focuses on the Twisted Metal tournament. You have Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatrice, Samoa Joe, Will Arnett. They all return. When the show first came out, I was totally on the fence about watching it because, like, I played Twisted Metal as a kid, but it's not like, oh my god, I gotta watch a show about Twisted Metal. But I watched it. I'm fully on board.
I was on the other hand. I was different.
I'm fully on board with this. I don't even think it got a shout out last year. or 2 years ago.
I'm pretty positive we did.
I
Well,
think
you did.
I think it was more so a Mark Out moment.
I don't know, but I definitely marked out over it. But with the entire show, I was one of those people where once I saw that it was coming out, I was like, I need to see this show. I was a big fan of the show, of the video game.
Have you watched any of it yet?
Yes. Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. You know, I'm a big fan of the comedy on there.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of trying to figure out and remember who is who from the video game. Like Calypso.
I will say,
yeah,
though,
I remember all of them.
It's annoying when on Peacock there's like a profile for each of them where it suggests certain things with each character. Like Anthony Mackie's character, there's like a suggestion like, oh, here you could watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think was attached to him, which I thought was funny because Stephanie Beatrice was on the show. But I was kind of disappointed that none of them featured any sort of like Wyatt clip or like wrestling clip at all, because I feel like that sort of genre of wrestling fits into this show. And I would have liked to have seen that, but they just gave like horror movies and stuff as suggestions. My next shout out goes to Eyes of Wakanda, which is an animated 4-episode anthology series out now on Disney Plus. It explores the history of Wakanda through different eras, and it follows 4 different war dogs. You have the Bronze Age, the Trojan Horse, the Trojan War. I mean, you have the early Ming Dynasty, and then the first Italo Ethiopian War. And then the agents have to retrieve lost vibranium artifacts in order to keep Wakanda hidden. It's a very quick watch, and I thought it was all very interesting to get backstory like that. And I'm pretty sure it's canon with the movies. Whether or not we ever see them in live action, I don't know, but it leaves it open for a season 2 with the way that it ends. I don't know if we necessarily will, but given how it ended, I think it ties in to the MCU. My final shout out goes to King of the Hill, which returned this week after 15 years. The whole season's out now on Hulu. Everyone is older, and I really like that aspect of it. They didn't like go back to being like Bobby is actually I think he's in his 20s.
Huh.
Hank and Peggy are retired, so I like that. I was laughing a lot during these episodes. If you were a fan of King of the Hill, I'm sure you'd be a fan of this. I'm sure you maybe already even saw it. I would highly recommend it. This was a very, very well done new season. I don't want to say reboot or anything like that, but I hope we get more episodes. I thought this was very good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but I'm happy that it's back.
Did you like King of the Hill?
I did. I liked it growing up.
Oh, well, I would say maybe check it out on Hulu. You don't have Hulu, though, do you?
I don't have Hulu.
Next year, Hulu's getting integrated into Disney Plus, and it's going away, so you will have it.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
And that's funny because the news, back when this ESPN app thing happened, it was saying that there will be a bundle with Disney Plus, Hulu, and the ESPN app, and everyone's repeating that. But on the same day that Disney announced that ESPN WWE deal, they also announced that Hulu is going to be integrated into Disney Plus, and people aren't repeating that portion of the story. They're still saying, "Oh, it'll bundle with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN."
Yeah,
it won't. Hulu won't exist. R.I.P. Hulu.
Bye.
But those are my shout-outs. Now it's time for Mark
Out Moment of the Week.
That is right, our Mark Out Moment of the Week. I have to say, because it was on SmackDown last week, Psycho Clown and Mystery Iguana, 100% being on SmackDown last week, had to be a Mark Out moment. This week, I immediately went and bought their T-shirts. I had been holding off for weeks, but that gave me like the final push to go out and get it. They appeared.
Yeah, that's huge Mark Out right there.
They appeared both nights at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that I was a fan of.
And WWE is very heavily promoting Triple Mania to the point where I think every match might have someone from WWE in it.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
And we're getting it live on YouTube with English and Spanish commentary, just like Worlds Collide. There's rumors that WWE wants to get Conan on a Legends deal. If we get Conan in 2K26, I'd be super happy with that.
Yeah.
And then also, like I said before, Mark Out Moment of the Week, Dudley's, Hardy's, TLC. Michael Cole actually mentioned that they have an upcoming match at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's wild. Wild times we're living in.
It really is. I got to say, Mark Out Moment for me was definitely everything taking place with SummerSlam. But also, I did invest in a few autographed cards. Huh?
I said invest.
Yeah, I invested in some cards. I ended up getting a 1991 Hulk Hogan autographed card from the trading cards that I used to collect as a kid. And then I also got a Stinger. I got a Sting with his WCW Surfer. And then the biggest investments were I got 2 Zack Ryder trading cards. But I did come to realize that I think that I want to collect the kind of like a Mount Rushmore of wrestling when it comes to autographed trading cards. So, because everybody has action figures and this and that in their own collections. And I think something that would be cool is just having the Mount Rushmore of wrestling trading cards autographed. Because once you're done collecting it, that's it. While with action figures, I feel like everybody, like, I know like Sal collects Ultimate Warrior. And every time that they come out with a new Warrior, he pretty much is obligated to get it now.
That's like, that was me with Zack Ryder at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
Chris, same thing.
If I'm getting an action figure in 2025, it's of someone I know.
Yeah, Chris is the same thing with his collections and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? He has his entire cases full of wrestling figures. He's collecting right now a lot of the Hasbros. Yeah, he's doing the retro series.
Yeah,
he collects those.
My collection stopped pretty much when Jax took over. When Mattel took over Jax. Or for Jax, I should say. I do have some Mattels here and there. Like I said, I have a lot of Zack Ryders. I have Kurt Hawkins. I got Kalisto. I have a Kelly that I made Dave buy in a CVS because I was too embarrassed to do it myself.
There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I have Tony Nese. In a perfect world, I'd have all of these signed, but I haven't seen any of them in God knows a decade or so.
I'm sure.
I also,
but yeah.
I'll go on.
No, what's that?
Well, I was going to move on, but I will say that as far as my card collection goes, it's just like some. If I'm going to go out of my way to purchase a card, I want it to be from an event that I was at. So I have a few autographed cards from like when I was a kid. The only autographed card that I have from when I was like an adult is from AFA. Topps Alpha card, I think it is, or a Panini Alpha card. I'm not sure which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I have like the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, Sasha Banks, Bayley. I have NXT TakeOver New York, Pete Dunne and Walter. I have from Evolution. So, and full matches. If I'm getting a one card, I need the other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that makes sense. Everybody has their thing. So, I think, and the reason I got these Ryder cards was I actually don't have any Zack Ryder trading cards. So, I wanted to at least get some for the collection. So, I'll put that. These are not autographed right now, but maybe I'll get them autographed at some point, or I'll just get an autograph card at some point. I do actually have an autograph Cardona card too already. I have the trifecta one where it's Rep Major, it's Majors, Cardona,
so you
and
don't even need
Ryder.
You have the three of them. You don't need that. You don't need any others.
Yeah, that covers it. That covers all eras of him.
What I was gonna say though, when I was gonna move on, is that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were announced as Fortnite skins. So you have the red, black, blue, yellow, and pink Ranger on the shop in a bundle, which sucks because it's like about like $40, I think it's going to be to get them. So I'm not going to get them, even though I really would like to get them. But the Battle Pass has the green and white Ranger, and then I think there's going to be a Megazord, I forget what they would call it. Not like a challenge or whatever, but you need to do a bunch of things in order to get the Megazord. So if you buy the Battle Pass, which I typically wait to see until I get to a certain level, and then I buy it, I have V-Bucks already in my account. You get free V-Bucks every year, or not every year, every season from just leveling up and going through the rewards. So I have leftover V-Bucks that I'll use to get to the Battle Pass, so at least I'll have the green and white Ranger and Megazord.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, you have any other mark out moments?
No, nothing over here.
Well, that is episode 757. Thank you so much for checking it out. You can follow us on Twitter at Markin Out, at BTDG161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, CM Sweeney85, David PTDBT on all platforms. Facebook.com/MarkinOut, YouTube and Instagram at MarkinOut11. ProWrestlingTees.com/MarkinOut, at MarkinOut on TikTok. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify Podcasts, markinout.com, YouTube. We wish you
best of luck in your future endeavors.